You guys, I've got a funny story for you guys. I'm going to be telling you guys the weirdest thing I've ever eaten. And I'm also going to give you some context. So, I actually have studied abroad twice now. Once in Mexico in Cuernavaca, and the other time in London, England. So, one time was for Spanish, and the other time was for business as well, which I studied both in college. And it was very interesting. And also, I have to say, when it comes to food, there was a lot of really good foods that I had abroad too. But I'm going to tell you about the worst ones. However, I would say majority of the food I really loved was in Mexico. However, it's kind of funny that I said that because also when it came to food that was weird, it was also something in Mexico. And I'm going to tell you about it because it's something really strange. And also, I have to say, when it comes to food, there was a lot of really good foods that I had abroad too. But I'm going to tell you about the worst ones. However, I would say majority of the food I really loved was in Mexico. However, it's kind of funny that I said that because also when it came to food that was weird, it was also something in Mexico. But also, do you want to know some of the best foods I had abroad? I had macaroons by the Eiffel Tower at La Durée, which is oh my gosh, the best thing. I have to tell you how amazing those macaroons were. Like, also, my best tip to trying anything is to pick the flavor that's almost out, because it's probably a good flavor, even though it may sound weird. Like, I think I tried one that was like, it was something really bizarre, but it was the best thing I ever had in my entire life. I think it was something to do with olive oil. I can't remember what it was, but I swear to you that it was the best thing. And I also really loved British tea, which I learned how to make it because it was really good for being involved with business work. So it actually like sealed deals in England. So that's actually something they taught us there, which is crazy because it's still a tradition there, even though it's still like something more from their past. Like, they still use it to this day. Isn't that really cool? Like, that's so cool. And also, the tea is way better than you think it is, because I wasn't even a tea drinker until I went there. But you have to get the specific tea and you have to make it a specific way. But I swear to you, it's the best thing I've ever had in my entire life, and I miss it a lot. And I also really loved tequila in Mexico, which they are known for. And it's a little bit sweeter. They make it with aloe there. We went to one of the tequila farms in Mexico, which was really cool. And also, they're really known for a lot of like tacos and mole. Mole was okay. It's like a chocolate sauce that you put on meat. It wasn't my favorite thing ever, but it wasn't like horrible because I had a really good host mom. So everything she made was kind of good, sadly. So we never missed a meal, me and my roommates, because it was so good. But it works for me though, because I'm literally like the skinniest person. And I can even show you how skinny I was at that point in my life. Like, I was already skinny because I was just starting college. And I was also a two-sport athlete. But on top of that, I also was going through my dad's death, so I was really skinny. And I think I lost weight eating like 5 meals a day. And my friends, they were like, what the heck? Because they were all gaining weight, my roommates, and I'm like losing weight. Does anyone else have that problem? I don't know. Like, I've normally been like on the skinnier side, so I can kind of get away with whatever. Not that I want to though, but I could. Anyway, I also care about my health, but I think everything in moderation is pretty good too. And also, when it comes to your health, health is wealth, and it makes you function better, makes you more confident. So, and it keeps you healthy and live a longer life. So that's why I do it. And it's very good for your skin. There's a million things you can do. Oh yeah, I also like looking at benefits of certain products too. But yeah, I'm really into that because I think it's interesting. Like, I really like preserving my skin in my youth. I think that's really cool too, with like food and drinks specifically. But I also don't count calories. I've never counted calories. Yeah, so there's a possibility I might have done it wrong though when I was really skinny in high school, because I didn't know what I was doing and I was so active. But anyway, that's another story, because who knows about calories in high school? Not me. Didn't know anything about it, but I was always eating. Like, you can even ask my friends. I'm such a snacker. But anyway, back to the story. So in Mexico is where I tried a food really strange. So do you guys want to know what it is that is something, it's actually considered a delicacy there too, which is kind of shocking. So for those who have traveled to Mexico, sadly you may have accidentally eaten this because one, it's low calorie and they use a lot, it's a delicacy there, but it's a cricket. I'm not kidding you. You can easily accidentally eat crickets there, but it's also lower calorie and cheaper than other meats, obviously. And more of, I think it's in like the Oaxaca area of Mexico. Don't quote me on that, but it's very popular in certain areas of Mexico. And I thought it was like the weirdest thing seeing that. And I didn't want to try it. I literally remember looking up its name and making sure that I wouldn't order it on the menu. I didn't want to order it at all, to be completely honest. But to be honest with you, I probably would have done it now that I'm older and I'm more willing to try new things. But back in the day, I was the scaredest person when it came to trying new foods. So this was like out of my comfort zone at that time. And I was also very afraid of textures. So I had no intention of ordering it. So I looked up what it was. I believe it's called chapulines. I could be saying that really wrong because I only learned it when I went there for the menu choice because we didn't even use crickets like in America or also in my programs in college and also in school. We never learned anything about crickets. The only reason we did is because we learned that it was in a lot of dishes. So you could easily eat a cricket. Actually, our professor told us that. But she didn't teach us, I don't remember if she taught us the word for crickets or not. She may have. But if not, I just looked it up. And I think everyone else did. But I was going to tell you that I had no intention because I was so afraid of different kinds. And that's also a very odd food to try, right? Like that doesn't sound appetizing. However, I did try it and it's kind of funny how it happened. So actually we were on an excursion with my entire group of study abroad kids. Actually, that was the cool thing about this program. We had excursions together as a group. So we really got to get to know each other. And I believe there was like 26 of us. There was like a very small amount of us there. And it was very fun. And we had a list of things that we did and scheduled together. And one of the things was we went to this market together. And this guy at the front of the bus decides to go to the market to pick up some dry roasted crickets to try, okay, for himself, right? And then he comes back on the bus and tries them. And we were all like grossed out of this bag of like crickets that he had. Like it's in a clear bag, right? Because he's at the market. It looks so gross. And he tries it. And we all think that he's like pulling our leg because he's like, oh yeah, it's not bad at all. He's like, it tastes like a sunflower seed. We're like, what? There's no way it tastes like a sunflower seed. And other people are trying it. They don't have any bad reaction. They're like, yeah, it does. And me, I was like, you know what? Because he was asking if anyone else wanted to try one because he wasn't going to finish the entire thing himself. Like, it was okay. It was not like, oh, this is amazing. But it was more like the texture. And I ended up trying one. And yeah, it did taste like an exact sunflower seed. However, the texture of that was really gross. But thankfully, there was a lot of like seasonings on there. However, would I have liked to try it that way again? No, probably not. Would I have done it again? Probably, for fun. But would I buy it myself? No. Maybe if someone else did it. Like, I'm glad I didn't waste my dollars on it because, especially in that case, like it's really intimidating to see that big cricket like in a bag. So there was a bag full of crickets you walked in from the market. It was the scariest thing. Thankfully, they weren't living, but it's scary to think about. Yeah, it was really funny though that it only tastes like a sunflower seed, but I did not like the texture of it. However, I feel like you could get away with like making it into like tacos or something else too, or whatever, like something else, like where it's more not in your face. Like I feel like that was really intimidating because it was like the cricket itself. That is the wildest thing I've done so far. And also my dad was like that too. He traveled around the world for his job like a lot. Like when he was younger, they was heading to plants all over the world. And one of the weirdest things he tried was pig's feet. And he's tried like eyeballs. Like there's a bunch of stuff, like fish eyeballs. There was a lot of weird things he tried. He was actually more adventurous when it came to food than we all were. But there was a few times he was like, yeah, there's a few gross things I ate. But you don't have to like everything. You just have to like be polite.